Evan Walker had landed on many strange planets before, but this one felt different the moment his boots touched the dark blue soil. The air was heavy and warm, and every sound seemed too quiet, like the world was holding its breath. His ship had crashed a few hours earlier after a sudden energy wave hit it from the sky. He was alone, or at least he hoped he was. Still, he could not shake the feeling that someone was watching him. He moved through the forest slowly, scanning the trees with his small flashlight. The leaves were silver and soft, and they gave off a faint glow when he touched them. It was beautiful, but it also made him uneasy. Nothing in this place felt natural. Every step felt like it was being heard by someone he could not see. As he walked deeper, he noticed strange marks on the trees. Thin glowing lines, like symbols written by a careful hand. They were fresh. Too fresh. Someone had been here minutes before him. His heart began to beat faster. He knew he should go back to the wrecked ship, but something in the forest kept pulling him forward. He felt like invisible eyes were following him with every step. Night fell quickly. The sky turned dark purple, and the stars looked sharper than normal. Evan set up a small camp near a cluster of glowing stones. He sat with his back against a tree, holding a small energy knife for safety. He listened to the forest. At first, it was silent. Then he heard it, soft footsteps. Slow. Careful. Moving in a circle around him. Evan pretended not to notice, but his pulse raced. He kept his eyes half closed, acting like he was resting. The footsteps stopped behind him. He felt cold air on his neck, like someone was standing very close. He wanted to turn around, but fear kept him still. Long seconds passed. Then the footsteps backed away. He heard them again an hour later. Then again. Each time closer. By midnight, he knew he was no longer alone. Suddenly, a sound broke the silence. A soft breath. Then a movement of leaves. Evan slowly opened his eyes and lifted his head. His flashlight flickered. When the light hit the edge of the trees, his breath caught in his throat. There she stood. Tall, thin, and glowing softly like the forest itself. An alien woman with silver eyes that reflected the light like mirrors. Her skin was smooth and shining with blue-white patterns, moving like water under her skin. Her hair was long and dark, moving slowly even though there was no wind. She did not look violent. But she did not look safe either. She was watching him with deep curiosity, like she was trying to understand what he was. Evan raised his hands, showing he had no weapon in them. He tried to speak, but his voice cracked. The alien woman stepped forward, moving gracefully, every step silent. When she reached the edge of the camp, she tilted her head slightly. Her eyes glowed brighter. Evan felt like she was reading his thoughts, or his fear. He swallowed hard. I don't want trouble, he said softly. She blinked once, but she did not move away. She took another small step toward him. Evan's heartbeat grew louder. This close, he could feel a strange energy around her, warm and calm but powerful. She looked down at him like she expected him to say something more. He had no idea what came over him. Maybe fear. Maybe honesty. Maybe the strange beauty of the glowing patterns on her skin. But the words slipped out of his mouth before he could stop them. You look very beautiful. The forest became silent again. The alien woman froze. Her silver eyes widened slightly. She touched her own cheek as if the meaning of his words was strange to her. For a long moment, she did not move at all. Evan thought he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. Then something unbelievable happened. Her skin began to change color. The glowing blue and white shifted into a bright soft pink, spreading across her face, her neck, her arms. She was blushing. Her glowing patterns pulsed like a heartbeat. Her lips parted slightly, and she let out a soft sound, a shy, almost surprised breath. Evan stared in shock. She wasn't angry. She wasn't offended. She was embarrassed. She lowered her head a little, hiding her glowing face behind her hair. Her hands moved nervously, touching her own arms like she didn't know what to do. Evan could not believe it. An alien woman, blushing because he called her beautiful. But before he could speak again, her head snapped up sharply. Her eyes turned serious. She stepped forward quickly and grabbed his wrist. Her touch was warm, almost electric. Evan tensed. What's happening? She didn't answer. She only pulled him forward and pointed toward the dark forest. Her expression changed from shy to urgent. Danger. Something was coming. Evan hesitated for a second, but the fear in her eyes pushed him to move. She pulled him into the trees with surprising strength. Branches brushed past them. The forest grew darker. Something big was moving behind them. Something fast. Evan glanced back once and saw huge shadows between the trees. More glowing eyes. More footsteps. Not gentle. Not curious. Hunters. The alien woman held his wrist tightly, guiding him through the darkness. Her glowing patterns brightened, showing the path ahead. For the first time, Evan realized the truth. He wasn't being watched by only one alien. He was being hunted. And she was the only one trying to save him. The alien woman pulled Evan deeper into the forest, moving faster than any human could. Her grip was strong but not painful, almost protective. The glowing hunters behind them were spreading out, their footsteps echoing through the trees. Their low voices carried a threat that made Evan's skin crawl. He did not understand their language, but the tone was enough. They were not here to talk. The forest grew darker as they ran. Strange blue flowers opened around them with soft clicking sounds, reacting to the movement of their bodies. Some plants shifted away like living things. Evan had never seen anything like it. Each step felt like stepping into another world inside a world. The alien woman finally stopped beside a tall rock wall covered in glowing vines. She placed her hand on the stone. The patterns on her skin flashed in response. Slowly, the rock slid open, revealing a hidden passage. She pushed Evan inside first. When they entered, the wall closed again, silencing the forest. Inside the tunnel, the air was warmer and the light dim but soft. The walls were covered in more glowing symbols, the same symbols Evan had seen on the trees. He realized they were not random marks. They were warnings. Directions. Stories. The alien woman let go of his wrist and stepped back. She looked at him with careful eyes, studying him as if he was as strange to her as she was to him. Her color had faded back to soft blue, but a faint pink still glowed near her cheeks. Evan finally found his breath. "Thank you, for saving me." Her head tilted slightly, the same curious movement she had made before. Then she placed her hand on her chest. Her voice did not come from her mouth. It echoed gently inside his mind. "Luriah." Evan blinked. "Your name is Luriah?" She nodded once. Then she pointed at him. He understood. "Evan." She repeated it softly in his mind, shaping the sound with care. Evan, the way she said it felt almost gentle, almost warm. But the moment of calm ended quickly. A heavy boom shook the tunnel. Dust fell from the ceiling. The hunters had found the passage. Luriah's expression hardened instantly. She stepped past Evan and moved deeper into the tunnel, motioning for him to follow. The symbols on the walls began to glow brighter as she approached them, responding to her presence like living light. Evan walked beside her, though his hands trembled slightly. "Why are they following me? I didn't do anything." Luriah looked at him, her eyes glowing softly. Her voice entered his mind again, calm but serious. "Humans, dangerous." Evan frowned. "No. Not all humans. She shook her head. Before long war, humans came. Many died. Evan felt a chill. He had studied human history with alien species, but no record mentioned this planet. My kind fought yours. Lariah looked away. Her glow dimmed. Not you. Old humans. They walked deeper until the tunnel opened into a vast hidden chamber. Evan gasped. The space was filled with floating crystals that hummed like music. The air felt thick with energy. Lariah stepped toward the center, and the crystals brightened, casting soft ripples of light across her skin. Evan watched in awe. What is this place? Her voice echoed gently in his mind. Sanctuary. Only few know. Only guardians. Guardians? Evan repeated. She turned to him, and for the first time, he saw something new in her eyes. Fear. Worry. And something else, trust. I am guardian. Evan stared at her glowing patterns, remembering how they pulsed when he complimented her. So you're powerful. Important. She didn't react, but her eyes softened. Hunters want human. Think you bring war again. Evan stepped closer. But you don't think that. The faint pink glow brushed her cheeks again. She lowered her eyes, and her thoughts came slowly, as if she wasn't used to saying them. You, different. He felt a strange warmth in his chest. This alien woman, this guardian, had risked everything to protect him. But before he could respond, another blast hit the outside of the chamber. The glowing crystals flickered. Lariah's face changed instantly. Danger was near. She stepped in front of Evan and raised her hand. The patterns on her skin lit up in bright waves, spreading across the chamber like waking energy. The ground hummed beneath their feet. Evan had no idea what she was doing, but the power in the air became impossible to ignore. Outside the chamber, the hunters shouted. Their voices echoed with anger and fear. Evan whispered, Lariah, are you going to fight them? She didn't turn, but he heard her answer in his mind, clear and strong. I protect you. The walls trembled as something heavy slammed into the hidden door. Evan swallowed hard. But why? You don't even know me. She lowered her hand slightly and finally looked at him. Her eyes glowed with soft blue and pink light. Because, you saw beauty in me. Another crash shook the sanctuary. Lariah stepped forward, her glow growing brighter. Evan realized something terrifying and incredible at the same time. She wasn't just protecting him. She was willing to fight her entire tribe for him. And the hunters were almost inside. The chamber lights flickered as the hunters slammed the hidden door again. Dust drifted down like falling ash. Evan could feel the vibration under his feet. They were close. Too close. Lariah stood in front of him, her glowing patterns brightening until they filled half the room with blue and pink light. Evan whispered, Lariah, we have to escape. We can't fight all of them. But she shook her head slowly. No escape. They follow scent. Follow energy. Then what do we do? Evan asked, panic rising in his voice. Lariah looked up at the floating crystals. They hovered silently like calm eyes watching everything. Her thoughts reached him again, softer this time. Sanctuary protects. But only if Guardian and Chosen stand together. Evan stared at her. Chosen? Who's that supposed to be? She stepped closer. Her glowing hand rose gently toward his chest, but she stopped before touching him. She looked nervous, as if the meaning of the word was heavier than he could understand. You. Evan blinked in shock. Me? Lariah, I'm just a broken pilot from Earth. I didn't even come here by choice. She shook her head firmly, her eyes glowing brighter. Not by ship. By fate. The hidden door cracked open slightly with a loud snapping sound. A hunter's glowing eyes appeared through the gap. Thick claws reached in, pulling at the stone. Luriah quickly grabbed Evan's hand. Her touch sent a warm current through him, almost like her energy was flowing into his body. He gasped. "What are you doing?" Her answer came fast, urgent. "Sharing light. You must hold it." Light pulsed from her skin into his palm. Evan felt heat rush up his arm, into his chest, and then out through his whole body. It wasn't painful. It was powerful. Alive. The crystals overhead brightened instantly, responding to him like he was one of them. "I can feel it," Evan whispered. Luriah nodded quickly. "Good. Sanctuary listens." Another slam hit the door. The hunters' voices were louder now. Angry. Desperate. They were ready to break in. Luriah pulled Evan to the center of the room, where the ground began to glow, forming a circle around their feet. The light rose like mist. Evan could feel it reacting to Luriah, reacting to him. The hunters finally broke the door open. A group of tall, armored alien warriors stormed inside, their skin glowing in sharp red patterns that pulsed aggressively. They looked more dangerous than the forest shadows suggested. Weapons hummed with energy in their hands. Evan froze. Luriah stepped forward, still holding his hand. Her glow turned stronger, blue and pink swirling together like fire and water. The hunters stopped in their tracks, shocked at the sight of both of them standing in the circle. Their leader spoke in their own harsh language. The sound echoed with anger and disbelief. Luriah's thoughts entered Evan's mind again. "They say, I break law. A guardian must never share her light. Never with human." Evan swallowed hard. "Why did you do it then?" Luriah didn't take her eyes off the hunters. Her voice in his mind softened. "Because your words changed me, and changed fate." The hunters prepared to attack. Their weapons glowed brighter, humming with deadly energy. Evan stepped forward instinctively, placing himself slightly in front of Luriah. She grabbed his arm, startled. "No. You are not fighter." He shook his head. "Maybe not. But I'm not letting them take you." A soft pink glow spread across her cheeks again, stronger than any blush before. But before she could reply, the hunters charged. A wave of deadly energy shot across the chamber. Evan closed his eyes. But nothing hit him. Instead, the sanctuary floor lit up like a rising sun. A shockwave burst from the glowing circle, blasting outward in a dome of blue light. The hunters were thrown back violently, sliding across the stone floor. Evan opened his eyes in shock. "Luriah, what was that?" She breathed heavily, but her eyes sparkled with relief. "Not me. Us." Evan stared at his own hands. They glowed faintly with the same patterns as hers. "I don't understand," he whispered. The hunters slowly got back up. Weak, frightened. Their leader stared at Luriah with disbelief. Luriah stepped closer to Evan, her voice soft in his mind. "Human heart strong. Stronger than fear. Sanctuary accepts you." "What does that mean?" Evan asked. Her eyes met his. "You are chosen protector now. My partner in light." The hunters hesitated. The glow around Evan and Luriah was too powerful. Too ancient. Something sacred. Their leader lowered his weapon slowly. The others followed. Evan looked at Luriah, confused. "Are they surrendering?" Luriah's expression softened. "They see the truth. Light chooses. They cannot fight it." The hunters backed away, murmuring among themselves. One by one, they knelt. Evan stared in disbelief. "They're kneeling, to us." Luriah squeezed his hand gently, her glow warm and peaceful. "To you." Evan swallowed. The weight of the moment hit him. A human who crash-landed by accident had just become a symbol of peace on an alien world. But as the hunters lowered their heads, something dark moved in the shadows above the chamber. Something bigger. Something ancient. Luriah suddenly stiffened. Her glow dimmed. Fear entered her eyes for the first time. Something else wakes, she whispered. Evan turned slowly. And the real danger finally revealed itself. Something massive shifted in the shadows above the chamber, like stone grinding against stone. Evan felt the air grow heavier. The floating crystals dimmed, trembling as if something ancient was waking after a long sleep. Luriah stepped back, pulling Evan behind her with sudden fear in her eyes. The hunters, who had just knelt in surrender, now looked terrified. Their glowing armor flickered with panic. Evan whispered, "Luriah, what is that?" Her voice echoed in his mind, shaky for the first time. "Old power. Forbidden. We woke it." A cold wind swept through the chamber. Pieces of ancient stone broke off from the ceiling and fell to the ground. The shadows twisted, forming long arms, then a shape so large Evan could barely see the top of it. Glowing red cracks spread across its body like lava veins. Two enormous eyes opened, dark, empty, hungry. The hunters dropped their weapons and fell to the ground, trembling. Luriah whispered in Evan's mind, "The World Sentinel." Evan swallowed hard. That doesn't sound friendly. Luriah's glow dimmed even more. Sentinel protects planet from outsiders. Evan's heart sank. Outsiders, like me. She looked at him with deep worry. Yes. And now you hold Guardian Light. Sentinel sees you as threat. Before Evan could speak, the giant creature roared, a sound so deep the entire chamber shook. The floating crystals shattered. The hunters scrambled to hide behind fallen stones. Luriah grabbed Evan's face gently, forcing him to look at her. "Listen to me. You must not run. You must stay with me. Sanctuary power protects only when we stand together." Evan nodded, though his legs trembled. "I'll stay. I won't leave you." Her eyes softened, full of warmth, fear, and something deeper. But the moment broke as the sentinel struck the ground with a massive fist. The shockwave ripped through the room. Evan lost balance, but Luriah caught him before he fell. The sentinel charged. Luriah pulled Evan into the glowing circle again. Their combined light burst upward in a shield just as the sentinel's hand slammed down. The attack hit their shield like a meteor. Sparks of energy shot in every direction. Evan gritted his teeth. His whole body shook from the impact. "Luriah. I can't, hold it." She squeezed his hand tighter. "You are strong. Believe." The second impact came harder. The shield cracked. The hunters screamed in the background as the walls began to crumble. Evan gasped, "It's too powerful." Luriah stepped closer until her forehead touched his. Her glow mixed with his, swirling like fire and lightning. Not powerful alone. But with heart, with courage, shield becomes unbreakable. Another roar shook the ground. The sentinel raised its arm for a final strike. Luriah whispered softly into his mind, almost like a promise. "Trust me. Trust us." The final attack fell. And Evan felt something ignite inside him. Light exploded from their bodies, brighter than anything the chamber had ever seen. The shield didn't break. It grew. The sentinel's attack bounced off like hitting a wall of pure sunlight. The creature roared in confusion, stumbling back. The light spread across the chamber walls, healing cracks, restoring the broken stones, calming the violent energy. The hunters watched with wide eyes as Evan and Luriah floated slightly above the ground, connected by pure light. Evan whispered, "We did that?" Luriah looked at him with wonder. "Together, yes. But the sentinel wasn't finished. It stepped forward again, angrier than before. Laria's expression changed. Not fear, but resolve. She turned to Evan. I must show you something. Only chosen may see. Before he could ask, she placed both hands on his chest. The world flashed white. In a second, Evan saw visions, memories of Laria's people, the ancient war, the truth behind their fear of humans. He saw guardians rising in light and falling in darkness. He saw a prophecy written in glowing symbols. A human with fearless heart will join with the guardian of blue light, and save both worlds. Evan gasped. That prophecy is about us. Laria nodded silently. The sentinel roared again, preparing its biggest attack. The chamber cracks glowed red. Everything shook. Laria took Evan's hands, her glow now calm and steady. We must finish what fate began. Evan nodded. Tell me what to do. Her smile was soft, warm, full of trust. Just stay with me. They turned to face the sentinel together. Their combined light rising like a new star. As the final battle was about to begin, the sentinel raised its massive arm, glowing with violent red energy. The ground cracked beneath its weight. The entire chamber shook as if the planet itself was afraid. Evan and Laria stood together, their hands linked, their glow rising stronger and brighter with every second. Evan felt his heartbeat sync with Laria's. He didn't understand how, but he felt her thoughts, her fear, her courage, and her trust mixing with his own. For a moment, it felt like they were breathing the same breath. Two different beings, but one light. The sentinel roared, the sound echoing like a storm trapped inside stone walls. It stomped forward. Sparks fell from its body like burning stars. Laria tightened her grip on Evan's hand. It tests our bond, she whispered into his mind, her voice trembling but determined. If we break, it wins. Evan stared up at the giant creature. We won't break. Not now. The sentinel's arm came down like a falling mountain. The energy crackled in the air. Evan closed his eyes and leaned into Laria's glow. He felt her warmth spread through his chest, calming his fear. A bright explosion of blue and pink light burst upward. The sentinel's attack hit the shield. But this time, instead of cracking, the shield grew even stronger. The blast pushed the sentinel back several steps. The hunters watching from the shadows gasped. They had never seen a guardian create such power. They had never seen a human become part of it. Laria's glow pulsed brighter, her eyes shining like twin stars. Evan felt the circle of energy rising around them, spinning faster, feeding on their connection. The sentinel roared again, raising both its arms. Laria whispered in Evan's mind, this is last strike. If we fail, everything ends. Evan took a deep breath. Then let's not fail. The giant creature slammed both fists down. The ground split open. Crystals shattered. Dust filled the air. The hunters screamed and dove for cover. Evan felt the impact hit him like a wave of fire. His legs nearly buckled. The shield trembled. The light flickered dangerously. Laria squeezed his hand harder, pulling him back into the glow. Stay with me, she said, her voice shaking, do not let go. I'm here, Evan whispered. The shield began to crack. A thin line of darkness spread through it. The sentinel leaned in, pressing harder. The chamber walls crumbled behind it. Evan's arms shook violently. The light around him dimmed. Laria stepped closer, pressing her forehead to his again. Her glow wrapped around him like a warm breath. He felt her fear, her pain, and something deeper. Her emotion flowed into his chest, gentle, warm, protective. She wasn't fighting to save herself. She was fighting to save him. Evan's heart pounded. The cracks in the shield widened. No, he whispered. I won't let it end here. He lifted both his hands and placed them over Luria's. He closed his eyes and focused on the moment he first saw her, the moment he called her beautiful, the moment she blushed with shy light, the moment she grabbed his wrist and saved him. The fear inside him melted. And something new took its place. The crackling shield suddenly pulsed. Once. Twice. Then exploded outward in a massive wave of pure light. The force threw the sentinel across the chamber like a weightless shadow. Its glowing cracks dimmed. Its arms dropped. The giant creature collapsed to its knees, shaking the ground, then fell face first onto the stone floor. Silence filled the chamber. The hunters stared in disbelief. Even the air felt still. Evan opened his eyes slowly. Luria looked up at him, her glow soft and warm, her breathing calm again. The sentinel tried to rise, but it couldn't. Its body started to fade, dissolving into streams of red dust. The ancient power was defeated, not by weapons or strength, but by the bond of a human and a guardian. Luria stepped forward and touched Evan's cheek lightly. Her voice entered his mind, gentle and emotional. You saved us, my world, and me. Evan swallowed. We saved each other. The hunters approached slowly, fear replaced by awe. Their leader bowed deeply before them. Luria squeezed Evan's hand. They accept you now. No more hunting. No more fear. Evan exhaled slowly, relief washing over him. So, what happens now? Luria's cheeks glowed pink, more than ever before. She looked at him with soft eyes, eyes that held gratitude, warmth, and something that didn't need words. Now, you stay if you want. Or leave if your heart says so. Evan thought for a long moment. He looked at the silver forest outside the chamber. He looked at the hunters bowing. He looked at Luria, standing close, glowing softly, waiting for his answer. He smiled. I think I'll stay. Luria's glow brightened, blooming across her skin like sunrise. The hunters bowed again. And on that alien world, deep inside a glowing sanctuary, a human and an alien guardian stood side by side, no longer enemies, no longer strangers, but partners in light. And everything changed because he told her she was beautiful.